All right, hello everyone. It's been a little bit since I've been able to kind of post consistently since I've been dealing with whatever the hell I got. I know I'm sure a lot of you are dealing with it too. It's like an upper respiratory thing in your head and your lungs as well. It's persistent. It goes on for like 2 or 3 weeks. It's really odd. A couple other people at work are telling me the exact same thing. So I'm feeling a little better, knock on wood, and I'm hoping to get us caught up with some news here. So I'm behind on a lot, so I'm going to try to get to some current events here, and we'll work our way backwards and just give some of my thoughts and opinions on some of the things that are going on here. So the first one we've got is the government is back in session, back in being useless, and back in and taking taxpayer money and misusing it. And the new thing that very conveniently is being voted on essentially by both sides are almost in tandem with this is to release the Epstein files. Now, that suspect, I'm pretty sure that you're thinking that suspect as well, and it's going to end up being a nothing burger. But let's get into a little bit of it, and then we'll talk about it.
All right, we begin with breaking news out of Washington. The bill to release the Epstein files is now on its way to the president's desk. The Senate has confirmed formal passage of that bill after a near unanimous vote. Just yesterday, we know the House passed the measure 427-1 after President Donald Trump reversed course on Sunday and urged Republicans to vote in favor of releasing the files. The announcement from the Senate press office was made on X just after 10 Eastern time. It said, H.R. 4405, the Epstein Files Transparency Act, was received from the House and the bill is passed. A vigil was held on Capitol Hill yesterday after the House vote. Lawmakers and Epstein survivors, they praised the months-long bipartisan push to get the bill passed. It's something many have fought decades to see happen. Survivor Annie Farmer spoke earlier to Gail King on CBS Mornings.
This feels like a victory, a long overdue victory in a fight that many people have fought, and that feels great. But it's bittersweet, because of I think what it took for us to get to this moment. These files should be available now. They should not be tied up in any kind of investigation. But we're concerned about things like that might get in the way of what we're looking for.
All right, let's go live to Capitol Hill and CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns. Caitlin, thank you for joining us today. Can you take us through the timing of all of this and how the bill went through the Senate with no amendments?
Yeah, Mugo, it was a really fast day. Congress can act very quickly if they want to. It was really remarkable to watch this House vote yesterday. Nearly a unanimous vote. We hardly ever see that up here on Capitol Hill, especially for an item that Republican leadership never wanted to bring up in the first place. Then the Senate quickly took it up, and they did it by a procedure called unanimous consent, where it just takes one senator to object to essentially fast tracking this through. So there wasn't a roll call vote the way that there is in the House, but essentially what they did yesterday, the Senate said, as soon as this bill lands in our chamber, it will automatically be considered passed. So that's what we were watching for this morning, because the Congress is kind of a weird place. There are a lot of arcane rules. The bill actually had to move from the House over to the Senate physically to be received and then officially approved by the Senate. So now it is heading to the president's desk. But this is a big story in so many ways. And I think one item of it as well is the way in which this came from the ground up, not from the top down. This was something that leadership on the Republican side had opposed. It was forced to the House floor for a vote through a discharge petition, another kind of rule that they can use to force a vote if you get enough signatures. And so this was an example of Congress exerting its own power, especially against the president, although the president had reversed course over the weekend. And
I find it interesting, all the hugging and celebrating and how great everything is. Prior to this administration, and I've had my criticism of Trump's administration with this as well, the Democrats didn't give a shit. Not one shit about the Epstein files. They never once wanted to get into it during Dementia Joe's corrupt regime. They never once wanted to talk about it or do a deep dive on it. Now it's celebrations all around like it's a big victory. You should pay attention to that, because No one this is all political. This is the Democrats need this out in order to just to have it. Like January 6th, they beat that dead horse. Then they dragged it around for another 6 months to a year. I mean, and turned it into a hood ornament. They never let it go, and it was they used it as an important focal point for them in order for them all to run for office, because they know you can fool people just by putting this crap out. Now you're seeing it now in this big celebration over it. Over what? Do you think we're going to get anything out of this? Do you think we're going to get any big names or any relevant information out of this? Don't you think it's a little odd that opponents on both sides were like, we can't release this, or the Democrats went to, we don't give a shit about this, to, it's super important that we let the Epstein files out? Do you think that when Trump was running for office and the Democrats believed that Trump was in the Epstein files and there was damning evidence, that they wouldn't have released it while he was running for office in order to take him out? They tried to put him in jail over 3 separate issues and disqualify him for running for office. You don't think they would have used information on the Epstein files in order to bury him so not one person would want to vote for him? Of course they would have. This is going to be a nothing burger. The talking point that you're going to get is Democrats pushed to release the Epstein files. Republicans wanted to suppress them. Democrats care about your kids, even though they want to trans them and cut their genitalia off. But Democrats care about your kids. It's Republicans that don't care about your families. That's going to be the talking point coming into the midterms. We are not going to. I'm going to say it right now. And again, if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow. I'll come on here and I'll eat crow. We're not going to get anything relevant about the Epstein files, because they're going to redact information from this. They're going to claim that the Justice Department, an update here, Justice Department will release Epstein files within 30 days, Pam Bondi says. Who believes we're going to get an avalanche of information that one, is going to expose high-profile people, and two, is going to result in these people being arrested? Now, my thoughts on this matter is it's going to be something like a pyramid scheme. It's going to be something like a pyramid scheme. It's going to be something like a terrorist cell. It's going to be the people at the upper echelons about this don't know the names of the people at the lower echelons of this, and then vice versa. Or the other thing, when you think about Bohemian Grove, that was exposed by Alex Jones, that absolutely exists. These former ex-presidents and other high-ranking officials in business and CEOs and stuff, they would participate in these things. And then they would end up getting information on each other. They would implicate each other when they participated in these events, and that was essentially a mutually assured destruction. So if you're aware that I've done something sexually inappropriate, either with a minor, with another man, or with a woman, and then I am also aware that you have done one of those 3 things in an exact same fashion, then the both of us can take each other down, and there's your incentive to never talk about it again. So, it's when they all get into these groups and they all are aware of what each other has done, are capable of implicating each other, then in order to go after one person, that one person can bring down another person. It's a snowball effect, and that one can continue it down the line until they expose everyone else that had any type of involvement, either starting from the top or being at the low-hanging fruit at the bottom. So, in my opinion, this is going to be treated like a terror cell. One group, the upper echelon, the lower echelon will have no idea what the upper echelon, who they were and what they were doing. Vice versa of the upper, or maybe the upper echelon will know about the lower, but not the other way around. I think, in my opinion, that the only thing you're going to see from this when they do this total Epstein dump is we're going to be given names of people that are already dead. some sacrificial lambs, some low-hanging fruit. For example, Prince Andrew has already been kicked out of the royal family at this point, and then they had exposed something where he had spoken to Epstein, and he had said, "We're in this together. We're going to get through this together." And they were able to produce that, either that letter or that text or something at the time. So he's been kicked out of the royal family. He's being implicated even more so in being involved with this. Now that he has no protection from the royal family, they'll be able to come after him full bore. And maybe he'll give up some others. Maybe he won't want to be Epsteined in prison, so he'll go to jail and he'll stay silent on who else was involved. But, you know, you're going to find that there's Democrats past and present that were involved in this. You're going to find likely Republicans past and present that were involved in this. Former presidents we're already aware of, Clinton and others. Former Israeli prime ministers that were involved, right? Even the friendship that Trump had with Epstein is a black mark for him too, because it's like, it's guilty by association, whatever degree it is. Even if you cut it off when you realized truly how bad he was, it ends up being a guilty by association. So everybody can implicate everyone else. So it's mutually assured destruction. This is why this country has nukes, and we have nukes, and you don't fire on us because we're not going to fire on you, because we can destroy each other. And that's how nuclear war doesn't happen, because everybody has them. All of these people will have or will end up having this information on each other. And they are not going to give up the other person, because then that person is going to give up on them, and then will give up on others in order to save themselves. It'll be a cascade of damning information that will take down whole governments and corporations and everything, and it's not going to be allowed to happen. So this celebration is fake. This push to release the Epstein files is fake. In my opinion is we are going to receive a nothing burger from this whole thing, and I think all of you know that too. We're not going to get anything. There's not going to be justice for these women. There is not going to be justice for these children that were involved in this, or really finding out the ties of how far this goes. Was he tied to Mossad? Was he tied to Israel? How many other CEOs and bankers and leaders of nations and others were involved? We're not going to find out, because it's going to hurt foreign relations. It's going to hurt corporations. It's going to hurt presidents, past or present. And so they're going to redact or remove all of the information we need. And that's assuming that any of the relevant information still even exists. Right? How many years has it been since we have been going through this? Since he was put in jail, he was arrested for the last time and jailed in New York, and then died in jail, and then we've been going through this, right? It's like 20 years. Any relevant information has been burned or destroyed. And anybody's names that you would really want to see be brought to justice have been redacted or removed as if they never existed. So watch, with everyone being on the same page after fighting so hard to say we can't talk about this right now, we can't let this out right now, and even the president saying that why are we still talking about this? Why are we doing anything about it? And now we do a complete 180 to the Senate and Congress are both on the Senate and the House are both on the same page with releasing this information, and Trump is all aboard to sign it when it gets to his desk. It means we're getting nothing. That's what it means. And I know everyone is as tired as the old political bullshit game that is played. I am as tired of it as the rest of you. And this is just another indication that it's the same old that happens in Washington. These people will not take any accountability for their actions, and they will not face any responsibility for their actions in horrible things. You have to catch them red-handed with a smoking gun, and even then they'll fight you tooth and nail in order to get out of it. It's a sad reality of the whole situation, but Unfortunately, that's what it is. I don't know that it's ever going to change. So there you go. We're gonna get they're gonna release the Epstein files. We're gonna get our big nothing burger, and we'll all get to talk about how it's a big nothing burger. Maybe there'll be a couple of arrests or people exposed just to give the mob their pound of flesh. You know, to give the people what they're looking for here. But I bet it's gonna be patsies, and it's gonna be low hanging fruit. That's my guess on how this is all going to play out. I have more coming for you guys soon. Stay tuned.